Ocean's 8 is a spin-off sequel to the original Ocean's trilogy directed by Steven Soderbergh and starred George Clooney as Danny Ocean. So this movie follows Sandra Bullock, who plays Danny Ocean's sister, Debbie Ocean. Wow, really inventive, guys. So by that logic, was their father Donald Ocean and their mother Denise Ocean? Because never mind. But anyway, she is released from a women's prison on parole and vows to just want to have the simple life and that she'd leave her life of crime behind. And as you'd expect, she bullshits her way into parole because we wouldn't have a movie without her going into a life of crime and trying to steal the world's most precious diamond necklace with a crew of people who all play individual roles. Well, except one of them, which I'm not going to spoil, but basically, I'll say this. A lot of movies are guilty of spoiling certain elements in the trailer. This movie's title is a spoiler in itself. So I have a confession to make. A confession that I'm probably ashamed of. You know what, I actually should very well be ashamed of. At least with the first movie. I've never seen the Ocean's trilogy. I never saw Ocean's 11. I heard it's great. I heard the sequels were just kinda meh. So I came into this with no knowledge of the other movies, just going into this as its own thing. And it's fine. Like I said, I've never seen the other movies, but this one just felt too familiar. It goes down a road of been there, done that. I didn't think it was all that special. Half of the actors that you have in this ensemble are pretty good, like Cate Blanchett, Anne Hathaway, Sarah Paulson. Then you have some other actresses who are passable, like Sandra Bullock, Helena Bonham Carter, Mindy Kaling. And then you have some questionable picks like Rihanna and Awkwafina. This is an ensemble piece with an all-star cast, so you've got to depend on the charisma of your actors to carry it through. And I would say a little less than half of the actresses really kept me engaged. You got Cate Blanchett, who is royalty in terms of actors, and she does a good job with what she's doing. Anne Hathaway, she has her own charm and charisma. Sarah Paulson is good, but then we get into the people who really didn't leave that much of an impression on me. You got Helena Bonham Carter here, who this movie might as well have been directed by Tim Burton, at least on her part, because she's dressed like a Tim Burton cartoon, and she acts a little bizarre and weird. She's supposed to have some sort of accent, but it keeps slipping in and out. When her character first enters the scene, I think she has an American accent, but then it just kind of transitions into another accent. But almost like the reverse of Carrie Fisher, when in Star Wars she started with a British accent, but then as the movie went on, she just kind of dropped it altogether. And then Mindy Kaling was Mindy Kaling. I'm not in love with her, but I don't hate her as well. And Sandra Bullock, she's the lead in the movie. She's the one that's carrying this movie. And I've never been the biggest fan of Sandra Bullock. I don't think she's a bad actress or anything. I've seen her in some stuff where I think she's phenomenal, like Gravity. But she just kind of plays herself. And there are a lot of actors out there that just kind of play themselves. But it all depends on a personal perspective if you think that said actress or actor has charisma. And with somebody who does play themselves, like Ryan Reynolds, I think they have charisma. Someone like Sandra Bullock, she's just kind of a blank slate to me. She delivers her lines in the same monotone tone, and I just didn't really find her engaging. And she's the leader of this group. And then you have Rihanna and Awkwafina, who I'm confused by, because Rihanna is not a good actress at all. I've seen her in a couple of movies, and she just doesn't interest me at all. And then Awkwafina, I gotta be honest, I've never heard of her. I'm not big into the music world like some other people are. So she just struck me as a complete unknown. And she's better than Rihanna, but at the same time, she just kind of feels weak. It's these two that are the weakest link in terms of your cast. Even though I just went on a complete rant about Sandra Bullock acts circles around these two. When we get to the actual meat of the story, which is the heist, it is kind of interesting, but then the movie will do some things where you're like, wait, what? Or how did you have the time to do that? So it was really muddled in terms of how this sequence was portrayed. And there were points where I found myself kind of bored. So I don't hate this movie. Like I said before, it's just fine. Some of the actresses are amusing and they can carry the movie, but everyone else is just kind of meh. The plot's very muddled. All the scenarios that they go through to pull off this heist don't really make a whole lot of sense, and the movie drags for a while. You just pick it up, don't add any more plot points, and the whole ending plot point that gets brought up kind of goes nowhere, so I don't know. And they even set the movie up for a sequel to where I'm like, yeah, I don't care really. So watch at your own risk. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's not bad, but it's not good. It's just okay. It's just, like I said, fine. And that's my review for Ocean's 8. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below and tell me what your thoughts are on the movie, if and when you've seen it. Don't forget to support my Patreon page, follow me on social media, and until next time, this is the real Mr. Robinson telling you there's only one.